Hey friends, welcome back to Authentically Blonde. I'm Casey.
I'm Lexi.
And if you're new to our channel, please be sure to click the subscribe button, and we're really happy you're here.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about counseling and kind of like the stigma behind it. And we really want to kind of just try to like really break down that stigma and address like why we thought there was a huge stigma behind it and kind of just like our journeys through counseling before, during, and like where we are now. And yeah, let's get into it. Just before we get started, I just want to say that I think every person should go to counseling.
Yes.
Regardless of if you think you're struggling or not. Everyone's going through something, and just having that outside source to just kind of talk you down, and they're pretty unbiased, and I don't know, I just feel like everybody needs to go to counseling because
literally it's so fun to just kind of say everything that's on your mind, on your heart, and you're talking to your counselor, so you don't have to have a filter, you don't have to feel like you're trying to be someone you're not. You can just say whatever you want to say and it's fine.
Right.
Okay, so before I started going to counseling, I was also saying I think everyone should go to counseling, but literally I didn't even go to counseling because I was like, break the stigma, but I was not breaking the stigma myself. So there's that. Anyways, my mom had been telling me for years that I should probably go see a counselor just based on a whole lot of different things, and she loves counseling and all that stuff. And so for probably 3 years I was saying, no, like I'm not gonna go to counseling, like I'm fine, mom, and being offended, I've said this before, but being offended by her suggesting that I need to talk to someone because I had counseling stigmatized in my brain. So before I went to counseling, I was always, everyone should go. But then I started to go to counseling about a year ago after a pretty hard breakup, and that's kind of what finally broke me, and I said, fine, I'll do whatever it takes. Let's try it. So that's kind of my mentality before going to counseling. What about you?
I mean, I feel like it was kind of along the same lines. Like, my mom had noticed I was struggling too and was like, always encourage the idea, and I'm like, absolutely not.
Like, mom, you don't understand.
I'm like, you don't get it, I'm fine. But like, I know I wasn't fine, and I just, like, just the idea of like telling someone who I didn't know all my thoughts and feelings was like, ew.
It's like, how could they understand even?
Yeah. Right, but then I think like my final like breaking point was actually I had this super bad panic attack. It was like soon after like my second knee surgery my freshman year of college, and it was like I had like the worst anxiety attack ever. Like literally thought I was having a heart attack. So like my mom took me to the ER. Like I think she knew that I was literally just having anxiety attack, but she was like, I don't know, like a wake up call, I guess. There they like hooked me up to like all these heart monitors and stuff, and they're like, you're literally fine. You're just literally having anxiety attacks. So I'm like, sorry mom for all that money you just had to spend at the ER.
But we love you.
So then after that I was like I need something different, like something needs to change, and so I was starting to open my heart to the idea of counseling.
So when I first went to counseling, I actually hated it because I went with one of my friends. Really thought that she should go see a counselor, and she was needing some support, and I was like, fine, I'll go with you, like I'll go in the session right after you, like we can walk over there together, whatever. So we did that, and I hated it, and because it was an intern that was counseling me, and I had never been to counseling, and she was videoing our session. Like she asked for permission, of course, but I was like, sure, but then realized how weird I felt, and I hated it. We did not click, and we've mentioned before, like counseling is very much like a relationship. Like you don't always find the right fit on the first one, and so that's totally normal, but I didn't know that, and I was like, okay, counseling tried it, not great. But then, like I said, after I went through this breakup, I went to a counselor who one of my friends suggested back home, and loved her. Like immediately, I walk into her office and was like, hey, I'm Casey, and she's like, hi, how are you? I'm like, good. Me thinking in my head, like, I'm fine, I'm totally good, like I'm just gonna try to just talk through how I'm feeling, but I'm totally fine. I immediately sit down and she's like, so how are you doing? And I'm like, I just start sobbing, and she's a stranger, and I'm like, I'm emotional, and she's like, it's okay, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever. So immediately in that moment when I was sobbing on her couch, I realized, wow, there's just something about talking to someone that you don't know, or that doesn't know like your circumstances almost, That is just so relieving and so awesome, and I love it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I feel like I always had this idea in my head too of like counseling was like you know like in like the cliche where you like go and like lay on this couch and you're like staring at the ceiling and the person has like a clipboard and they're just like
checking off the boxes,
you kind of.
Yeah.
And I was like
what level of crazy are you, kind of? Yeah.
I'm like, I'm the highest.
You're like, I'm here.
So I started going to counseling when everything was just really bad and I was like, I need something different. And so I mentioned before, but I tried a counselor earlier on that I just didn't click with, like her method. I don't know if you've heard of like eye movement therapy. I don't know if that's the correct word, but it just like wasn't the right kind of therapy that I needed. And so one of my family members actually had done like cognitive behavioral therapy, which is kind of just like switching the mindset of how you think about things in your life. And so that was what I was looking for in a counselor. And so I didn't really find someone that I liked until about a year ago, honestly, the same as Casey. And it was kind of just the same thing. Like I just clicked with this person and she was just walking me through like all these hard things that I felt like I was going through. And I was like, wow, like you are unbiased and you're not telling me what I want to hear all the time. And like people in your life, I feel like will just tell you exactly what you need to hear, even if it's like not the right thing. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to say is that you just need an unbiased source sometimes to tell you what you need to hear. And yeah, so I've still been going, and then during volleyball season I felt like I needed more, so I started talking to our sports psychologist too. And so just like that combination I think really helped me through senior year and a lot of life changes and struggles. And yeah, that's how I advocate for counseling, I guess.
Yeah. Just looking back, I'm feeling really, really, really thankful that I finally gave in to going to counseling and having these conversations with this stranger and allowing myself to be helped. Like that was a huge game changer, and I will forever be thankful for that.
And I think we're kind of making this sound like butterflies and rainbows.
I'm like
we love counseling, but it like is really hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you go in there and you just like unpack all these deep emotions that you didn't really know you were struggling with, and it's like, I don't know if they have like these weird questions that just like you're like, whoa, and you kind of just unpack what you're going through. And it's okay to cry and it's okay to be emotional. They've seen everything, I'm sure, so
like, you will not be the first person to cry in their office.
Yeah. And sometimes I even leave feeling like very, I don't know if I'm sad, but more heavy. I'm just like very emotional. Like, but like after that, then it's like super freeing, I think, to just have like gotten it all off your chest and to have talked through it.
Yeah.
Which is often hard to just like bring up that conversation with somebody. Like it's hard to just like go, like I don't know, like me and Casey would, but like it's hard to just like, hey, can we unpack every deep thing that I've ever gone through right now?
So counseling is not perfect and whatever, it doesn't make you feel amazing all the time, but I think verbalizing what you're feeling, regardless if it's good or bad or ugly or whatever, is super healthy and important and necessary.
Agreed. So we're definitely obviously advocates of counseling, and it's completely changed both of our lives, and we encourage you that if you're on the fence about it, like just try it out. And totally, if it's not for you, like it's not gonna be for everybody, but it could be the best thing you ever do. So I guess that's my advice to my younger self, is to just do it sooner than later and be open to the idea of letting someone into your life that could potentially be completely life-changing. So
totally. Let's break the stigma, you know?
Let's freaking break the stigma! Alright, so we're planning on talking more about counseling, or if you guys have any questions for us or just want to reach out and talk to us about our experience, we'd love to do that. But yeah, other than that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to our channel.
Thanks guys!
Bye!